बन सचेतन आत्मा, गाइए गुणगान प्रभु का। बन सचेतन आत्मा, खोल चक्षु ज्ञान के, खोल चक्षु ज्ञान के। तुझको मिलेंगे परमात्मा, गाइए गुणगान प्रभु का। ज्ञान से ही ध्यान है, बिन ज्ञान के मुक्ति नहीं। साधना के द्वार तक आए बिना सिद्धि नहीं। हो फिदा परवाने तू, हो फिदा परवाने तू। महफिल में आया शिव क्षमा, गाइए गुणगान प्रभु का। रोशनी अंतर में भर ले, सारे पर्दों को हटा। तेरे द्वारे प्रभु पधारे, अपनी पलकों को उठा। चांदनी राहों में बिखरी, चांदनी राहों में बिखरी। प्रभु बना है रहनुमा, गाइए गुणगान प्रभु का।
Om Shanti. Let's take a couple of moments to stabilize ourselves. If there is anything on top of our minds, let's keep all of that aside and be one with the learnings that Baba is imparting us today with through this Murli. Today's Murli is dated 17th April 1969, and the title of the Murli is The Inauguration of the Spiritual Museum is Abu. in Abu, the inauguration of the Spiritual Museum in Abu. Namaste from Baba to the children who have love for all. Whom do you have love for? Baba is asking, whom do you have love for? Some said for the Father, and some said for service. Baba asks, what else do you have love for? One aspect still remains. Of course, you have love for Bap Dada, but you should also have greater love for effort. Effort, Purusharth. You have love for the divine family, for service, and for Bap Dada anyway. But according to the present time, there should be greater love for effort. Those who have love for effort will be loved by all. Each one of you should check how much love you have for effort. You have love for Bap Dada because he inspires you to make effort. You will have love for the reward only when you first have love for effort. You cannot give or take love from the divine family until there is love for effort. If you have love for effort, you can then become worthy to claim love from each other. You have gathered here because of love. However, it is love for Bap Dada. Now, have love for effort because it is this effort which creates the reward of the whole cycle for you children. Bap Dada has even greater love than you children have. To the extent that someone is loving, accordingly, he continues to receive the response of that love. Take love with the Avyak form. To what extent have you learned the lesson of Avyak love? This is the lesson of the present time. Take love through your Avyak form and give the proof of service with love. To what extent have you made the lesson of Avyak love firm? What do you think the result is? Have you reached halfway? Baba is asking the result of the majority. Some said 25%, some said 75%. There is such a vast difference between 25% and 75%. The majority think that it is 25%. Why is there such a result? What is the reason for this? If there is 25% of your love, what kind of love is the remaining 75%? If the majority of you have a result of only 25%, how will you claim past marks in the future? Now, Avyakt love is the main thing. Avyakt love gives power to the pilgrimage of remembrance. Avyakt love gives power to the Yad Ki Yatra. Avyakt love helps in creating an Avyakt stage. Why is there a result of only 25%? Have you thought of the reason? According to the time, you shouldn't have this result. According to the time now, it should be 75%. So, what will you do to achieve such a result? What is the method for that? Baba receives the answer: introversion, antarmukta. You always say that you have to become introverted, you have to become antarmukhi. But what is the reason for not being introverted? You have love for Bab Dada and service anyway, but there is less love for effort, for doing the Purusharth. The reason for the lack of love for effort is that the majority of you become disturbed on seeing the circumstances. You create your stage, that is the sthiti, with the support of the circumstances, that is the paristhiti. You create your sthiti with the support of the paristhiti. Your sthiti is dependent on the basis of the circumstances around you. You do not change the circumstances through your own stage. You do not change the paristhiti through your own sthiti. You think that you will be able to create your stage when you change the circumstances. Develop the power of the original stage of the self through which the circumstances can be changed. स्थिति से परिस्थिति में परिवर्तन. Those are external situations, whereas this is the origin stage of the self, that is swasthiti. You become weak by being influenced by external circumstances, and by stabilizing yourself in the original state of the self, you receive power. And so, do not stop because you have been influenced by the external circumstances. The original stage of the self has so much power that it can overcome any kind of external situation. Because of your weakness in stabilizing the self in the original stage, sometimes the external circumstances becomes powerful. The majority of the children always keep saying, Baba, put this right, then we will be able to become like this. There is a hindrance because of this aspect. Majority of the children always keep saying, they'll tell Baba, Baba, अब परिस्थिति ठीक कर दो, हम स्थिति ठीक कर देंगे. There are very few who reveal their own courage. In that, they will definitely overcome those circumstances. They request something, and that is good. However, together with that request, they do not put into practice the advice that they receive. Many files of everyone's requests have accumulated. Just as Dharamraj has the accounts, in the same way, Bab Dada has many requests from you children. There is a file for each one of you. The main thing you have been told is to have love for making effort. What do you call yourself? The children say, effort makers, Purusharthi. Since you are effort makers, do you not know what effort is? Do you know your file? What is your effort? Do you know that? You saw the final stage of the corporeal form, how Baba demonstrated to you the action in the corporeal form. And so, from that, you came to know the final stage. According to the final stage, to remove instantly whatever weakness is visible means to have love for effort. I repeat this. According to the final stage, to remove instantly, instantly, whatever weakness is visible means to have love for effort. Do not do that slowly. Did you see the main virtue of Sakar Baba? He never left anything for later. It had to be done there and then. Just as he used to do it at that very moment, in the same way, you have to do it right now. You shouldn't say that you will do it sometime later or that you will do it after 10 or 15 days. We will practice that afterwards when we return home from Madhuban. There are many who wait in this way. They forget to make the preparations. They do not make the preparations. Instead, they wait for things. If you stop waiting and start making preparations, then your result will be 75%. Baba is giving the answer how to move from 25% to 75%. The result of the effort of the present time should not be less than 75% for the majority of you. The result of the effort of the present time should not be less than 75% for the majority of you. Baba is also telling you the result. Some are waiting for the time, and some are waiting because of obstacles, some because of their relationships, and some because of their own body. There is some reason or the other for which they are waiting. And when I say they, in today's time, we speak about our own selves, that this is what many of us may be waiting for. But no matter what something is like, whatever is in front of you, whatever the situation, you have to become perfect in that same body. Keep this aim. So this is going to be the homework for today. To look at our reasons because of which we are waiting, and take on the practice of taking purusharth, taking efforts right now. Now, because you take the support of something or another, you become dependent. You're dependent on things. Each one of you relates your own story at Amrit Vela. Some say, if I did not have this physical illness, I would make a lot of effort. Some say, remove this bondage. But if one bondage is removed, another one will emerge. Why? Because we are waiting for circumstances to get resolved. If the bondage of the body is removed, a bondage of the mind, a bondage of wealth, or bondage of relations will emerge. What will you do then? They will not remove themselves. You have to remove them with your own power. Something that Bapdada will remove them, or that they will be removed according to the time. But do not think in this way. The time has now come very close. This Murli is of April 69. We are in September 2022. So it's even closer. Those who become slack in their efforts will take this time for effort slip through their hands. Those who become slack in their efforts will let this time for effort slip through their hands. Do you know how many breaths you take? They are countless. And so, each breath and each second should be used in a worthwhile way. Now, the time is such that if there is any kind of carelessness remaining, then just as many children lost the great fortune of experiencing a sweet meeting with Sakar Baba, in the same way, this fortunate time of making effort will be lost through your own hands. Even after the awareness, if we don't take those actions, do those efforts, then we shall be responsible for losing that opportunity through our own hands. This is why you're being told about it beforehand. Have love for effort and increase your effort. Baba continues to watch the game from up above. You can also come up and watch it, and you will enjoy yourself a great deal. Baba sees very entertaining games of the children. You can also see them. If you watch whilst being stable in your elevated stage, in the Swasthiti, you will be able to see the games of others as well as your own. Bap Dada continues to watch them. They are games of great amusement. The great Maharathis are not afraid of lions, yet they are afraid of ants. They're able to confront a lion easily, but they do not know the method of treading over an ant. This is the game of the Maharathis. Do you know what the cavalry do? Baba gets the answer. They gallop. Baba also watches the games of the cavalry. Baba has already told you about the Maharathis. The cavalry have a lot of courage and enthusiasm. They even move forward in their effort, but whilst galloping, they slip off. They do not slip off. They do not fall or get tired. They are tireless and they even continue to move along very well. But, but they become attracted by the sight scenes that come along the path. Even though they continue to make effort, they have greater sanskars of just observing. What is this one doing? How is he doing this? Even I can do that. And by doing that, they compete. The cavalry have a great attraction for observing others. दूसरा मेरे से आगे तो नहीं निकल रहा. There is an amusing aspect about the infantry also. Baba is telling you about the game. What do they do? It may be a very minor thing, but they turn in, into a great mountain. They do not make a mountain into a mustard seed. पहाड़ को राई नहीं बनाते, but instead they make a mustard seed into a mountain and get themselves disturbed. That is why we get to hear, क्यों राई का पहाड़ बना रहे हो? Why are you making a mountain out of small thing? It is nothing that they make everything out of it. And then look at its height. And then looking at its height, they lose the courage. So when you see things which are huge, which are unscalable, because the power of the mind is weak, they lose their courage. Even then, according to the present time, out of all the three, half of each quality are transforming themselves. This is why Bap Dada is smiling and seeing their courage and enthusiasm and seeing them step forward. If each of you is asked who is a Maharthi, who is of the cavalry, and who is of the infantry, will you be able to answer? If each of you is asked who is a Maharthi, who is of the cavalry, and who is of the infantry, will you be able to answer? So, a lot of things Baba's told us through this Murli about introspection, about reflection, about looking at your stage, your sthiti. Are you weak in the face of the circumstances, of the situations, of the relations? Are you waiting for them to turn around so that you can elevate yourself? Or you're going to elevate yourself and go beyond all those challenges, those circumstances, those relations that may be holding you because of attachment, because of Maya. Let's take a couple of moments to reflect onto this for our own. What is our sthiti? Where are we waiting? Where are we in the category of 25%? And what is it that we commit to do to take our sthiti at least to 75% or higher? A couple of moments in silence with our own self, and then we shall open up to share. Om Shanti. Okay, you can unmute yourself and share.
Om Shanti, brother. In this journey, or so far in this Avyakta journey, I remember Baba always stresses on the word Purusharth. And now it is not just Purusharth. Baba gives it an adjective as Titra Purusharth. He says only then you can attain the fruit. But in today's Murli, way back in 1969 itself, he had told us, he has explained to us why we are not able to go up in our effort. Yes, he has given what I call it as I call those as management reasons. The time, oh, I've got a lot of time, oh, I cannot do because of this, or this person above. But I like the last part where Baba's categorized us into three. And today I was just visualizing that. Am I a Maharati? I can conquer big things, so many big things. But when any trivialities come, small thing, I fumble. Or am I a cavalry? I know my destination. I know where I have to go. I can see it right in front of me. But what is that which stops my horse from going forward? Or what should I do? Look straight, Baba says. Or am I an infantry? Such a small thing, I am under it. So why not I go over the mountain and come out? So this three has always kept me. I have to find out if this three I'm able to first find the reason for my weakness. Then I think with Avyakt love and introversion, maybe I can become a teacher Purusharthi. Om Shanti.
I would look at the other way around, sister. First of all, it is the point that you highlighted about Tivra Purusharthi. Indeed, it's like uh, the death overs of a match when uh, there are lesser balls to play and there are more runs to make. You would be having more effort. I'm just trying to make it to explain it in a simple language, but there is lesser time. There is no other way but to increase the level of our efforts. So the same way, it's I would look at that. Get your sthiti in a place. We are either impacted by experiences of the past, or we are impacted or worried about the apprehensions of the future, the uncertainty. But we forget living in the present moment, and the present moment uh, we somehow miss when our sthiti is uh, it's not stable. That is the time when we miss that yes, Baba is with us, and the sustenance that he is giving us. Suddenly we get into the body consciousness and make ourselves weak and vulnerable in front of people, circumstances, situations, attachments. So taking baby steps actually, but faster ones, and taking care of each and every action that we take, the purushartha that we are doing. Not taking big leaps, but taking baby steps to climb the mountain, which actually is a mountain because, again, of our sthiti. So taking one step at a time, continuously, ongoingly. I guess that is what I am getting out of today's Murli. The practice to be taken into uh, our day-to-day living. Thank you, sister.
Shanti,
Yes,
brother.
yes, Shraddha.
Today, Baba is talking about having love for our effort. Thus, love towards making efforts will bring an Abhyakt stage through that awake stage, we should be able to transform the external circumstances that would come, which prevent us from achieving the avyakt form. So we should make efforts, we should have more love for our efforts towards creating a avyakta sthiti, is the message that I take from Shanti.
Yes, Vinod Bhai. Simply speaking, the subject that you're studying, if you don't love the subject, then how are you going to get great marks or great results or outcome? So to get it, it's not that you just have to kind of rattle it like a machine, but actually get it deep in your own self, own it up, be one with the efforts. Then that becomes a natural sanskar for you to create whatever result is showing up. And even if the result is going a bit wayward, we have that sthiti, that swasthiti to correct it, fine tune it, and take it on to the next level. Thank you, brother.
Om Shanti. Uh, Om Shanti. I think in this Murli, the Baba is actually focusing on the swasthiti se paristhiti, parivartan. So swasthiti is basically to maintain the swasthiti ekras is the effort which Baba is saying, and this effort should be actually this effort only will actually one day will result into a avyakt love, which Baba is focusing. So I think the focus is again this swasthiti means I am a soul and I am the seed, and the entire tree around me should not distract me. In fact, I have made the tree. I am the owner. I am the responsible soul who has actually, and I have the power to transform the tree. But first, I have to focus on my own self, the seed stage. Swasthiti. Om Shanti.
Beautiful. Swasthiti se स्वपरिवर्तन और स्वपरिवर्तन से विश्व परिवर्तन. Beautiful. Yes.
Om Shanti. The point I like the most is that Baba said, don't wait for the right time. I think whatever we need to do, whatever weakness I feel I have, just remove it right now. Because if I do it right now, then I can call myself Maharati. If I wait for more days, like tomorrow and tomorrow, I can't do that. I think that is the reason we actually fail in our circumstances when we get the exam. That's all I get. And that's like, this is the point I'm inspired. And I would like to do that. Om Shanti.
Yes, Deepa Ben. And that is why Baba has also told us to write the potamail in the before we call it a day. That whatever you are doing, just share it with Baba. And share it as in not just now I've said it, now it's over. No. Along with that, make a promise, create a structure so that it does not happen again. And the way we are, because the soul battery is discharged and it's getting charged with spiritual sustenance. Uh, with Baba being with us, we can give bal, we can give power to our Purusharth and to the commitments and the promise that we make. The commitment to stand up even after we fall, even after we promise, is the commitment of being a Purusharthi.
Okay.
Thank you, Deepa Ben.
Vimesh Bhai, I would just like to add one small experience which I had a few days ago.
Sure.
So in Mumbai, in my office, I went to the terrace because we had to do some inspection on how the monsoon has been, treating our buildings. And without realizing the way I walked, there were two more people with me. I slipped on the moist terrace on the top because of the mossy, floor. And it's a hard paved floor. I slipped means it was so sudden and so instant that I just didn't realize what happened. And I slipped very badly, like I fell flat with my head banging onto the terrace, and I was flat on the floor. For a moment, I was in a daze and I didn't know what happened. I waited a few seconds. It seemed to be fine. I was more in shock than anything else. I got up. The doctor was called because of the few officials who were with me. They told me to watch for 24 hours, that there shouldn't be any problem. Took my BP and stuff like that. So I went home a little early and they told me just watch. So later the next day when I did my meditation, I was fine, of course. It was just more a shock and anything could have happened because the head could have just had a full concussion with the impact of the fall. And the next day, or I think the day after that, when I went into meditation and I spoke to Baba and I said, what was the meaning of that? Thank you that nothing happened. But why did I fall in such a manner and yet escape? And today's Murli reminds me of the answer that he gave me in that meditation. And what he said was, anything can happen anytime, and it'll be so sudden, you will just not know it. And it is just a reminder. Anything can happen anytime. Yes, you escaped, but because it was only to tell you and to remind you. So I thought I must share this. It just came as a flashback while we were reading this Murli. Om Shanti.
We get so consumed in our day-to-day routine that we miss out on what you just highlighted, that we have to be prepared for anything happening anytime. And once we're in that stage, then you do get the access of how to deal with any situation. And it reminds me of an incident to speak about and share with you all right now. Uh, my Lokik father, he's 84, and last month he got a stroke, and we got him whatever procedure needed to be done. It was done, and one of the sisters from the center came to give him blessings, Baba's blessings, and uh, she asked him, "Are you okay?" So he said, "I am absolutely okay, and I'm happy uh, with whatever has happened. That much of my karmic account is cleared." It took me a while to get what he said. He's Baba's child as well. And after that, I saw the perspective that he had, that whatever challenge showed up, whatever paper came, his approach was that I had to see this through. I saw it through, and Baba was there who was with me to help me see it through. And the perspective that that much of my karmic account is clear, that much I have to settle less with Dharamraj. And that was a reminder for me to shake myself to come back to stability. Your incident reminded me to share with you all. Yes, Yogita sister, you want to share something?
Yeah, Shanti. The point when Baba said that to remove the weakness instantly means to have the love for efforts, and Baba also gave the answer how to do that, and that is introversion, introvertness. Because the more we get introvert, only then then we can see the weaknesses of our own selves. The more we are outward, because anyway, most of the time into the day-to-day day-to-day activities we are always outward, so we need to learn that in between of that time also we get introverted. So I think that is the key word which is the answer for, or which is the what you can say, which is the key to attain everything that Baba wants us from today's Murli. So I think that is important to be more and more and more introverted. That's what that's what is my takeout. Thank you.
Absolutely. And introvert, if you see, has got two meanings. Like one, if you see, it's an opposite of extrovert. Now, in that term, in that uh, uh, context or reference, introvert would be something negative. But here it is so pristine And it is so empowering, encouraging, I would say, that the answer to everything that is happening around you is when you look within yourself, when you become an introvert. So, yes, that's where the power is. That is where Baba is with you and support you to take care of whatever situation shows up. Thank you, sister.
Om Shanti, brother. Om Shanti.
Yes, Kartikavan, yes.
So to be added with that point, I too felt that being introverted, we can increase the power of accommodation and also the power of backup. Today also Baba said that mountain should be, we have to make like a small mustard seed, and only we have that power when we are introverted. How much introverted we can make ourselves stable in object stage also. And Baba also said that cavalry, infantry, and Maharathis. So the stage of cavalry, they are attracted by the side scenes. Even though they are so much enthusiasm and love, courage, everything they are practicing, but still they are attracted by the side scenes. So that side scenes, everything can be overcome when we are introverted. So how can we increase the practice of being introverted? Anything to be done for that, brother?
Can you repeat that again?
So how can we increase the practice of being introverted? Any tips to be introverted?
Okay. Would anyone like to answer that out of your experiences? If anyone is practicing.
Yeah, I get this feeling that introverted is basically exercising the power of silence. So when you are, especially when there are difficult circumstances around you or something that you're not comfortable with, I think when you go inwards into the power of silence and connect, you become introverted. But maybe others can share what else they infer out of this. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, by not consuming too much of content through media, by mingling with too many of people who have different ideas, different sets of uh, paths to take. So that's one way to become introverted. And to write down your own ideas to spend time with yourselves could also increase introversion.
Om Shanti. Adding to what sister said, that to accumulate the power of silence, we need to be an observer. By doing so, we can accumulate the power of silence. Om Shanti.
By reacting to everything from within, not from outside, but going within me and then acting towards that. That gives me more power to check my stage.
Om Shanti. Another practical way, basically, we have to come to the core again that I am a soul, I am the seed, and I should not get influenced by the ant, which is a very sukshma maya, or it could be a sight scene, which is a quite elaborated form of maya, or it could also be the this infantry where I'm making a big issue out of us where nothing is there. So these things will subside. We have to create basically a kavach, something like that. So that all that will happen only when I'm again in the seed stage, that I'm always detached from all this. I'm not affected by all this of what is happening outside. So I'll have to focus first on that, on my breath. That I have to find out ways and means to again be in a silence, observe on my so many breaths I'm taking, and who's taking these breaths. Either soul is taking these breaths to the body, either soul looking at the world from through these eyes. So who is the observer? Who is the one who is actually taking a breath? Whose body is this? I am not the body, I am a soul. So these are the various practices one can write also. I am a soul, I am not the body. and then start feeling it in every act, every kind of even word. Who's speaking these words? Who's experiencing the feelings because of some reaction to some situation? Who's the one? I think these are some practical tips. Om Shanti.
Thank you all.
So one practice that which I usually practice, I would say, is it might sound a bit funny, but one of the Murlis, Baba said, "You are royal father's royal child." And I was going through a bit of stressful situation at that time, and I suddenly uplifted myself and said, "I'm a royal child." And all day, what the homework for that day was, I'm a royal child who's got a royal father. I only have to stand in the remembrance of that, number one. Now, if I'm royal and who's got a royal father, can the situation be bigger than me? Or if the situation is getting bigger than me, then I am not relating to myself as a royal child of the royal father. And that really worked for me. The second thing that really works, Kartika sister, is traffic control. So, a practice, if you can take on, you may be doing traffic control, but with this uh, added aspect where you completely just be in that space of nothing, in that 1 minute of silence when you withdraw. You said power to withdraw. When you withdraw yourself from the situation, usually when a situation shows up, we get stressed. But is stress the answer to anything? Will it really help us? No, it doesn't. It in fact deprives us of our own potential to take care of the situation. So at that time, withdrawing yourself from that situation, being in silence, being in silence, and actually talking to Baba in that 1 minute of traffic control, that here is the challenge, here is the paper. I am willing to do what is required to be done. Ek kadam mera, hazar kadam aapke. One step mine, thousand are yours. I know that. I'm going ahead because I know you are with me. So this kind of a self-talk is something that I practice, sister, which keeps me going. I hope that answer and the answers that everyone gave you, uh, it may give you an access to it.
Sure, brother. And how much we are introverted, that's our stage, whether we are Maharathis or cavalry or infantry.
Yeah.
So we should be more introverted, then we can attain the stage of Maharathis. Thank you.
There's a song, no? There's a song that ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है. So that belief that my father's there with me, there's nothing to worry about. Yes, Yogita sister.
Last point regarding this introvertness, I just remembered that this is a very deep and very subtle topic. We may say that because introvertness actually brings out our own weaknesses on the surface, and that is sometimes very scary, because like we all have this experience that when we came into the Gyan early in the earlier stage, we have some kind of thoughts that we have never had before we came into the Gyan. And we also thought, or we also said that, how can I think in this way? I have never had this kind of thoughts, because I think it works as a Ayurveda medicine, which bring out each and every weakness, each and everything from you, from out of you, which is there in the subconscious mind. And imagine how many things we have in the subconscious mind for entire Dwapar Yuga and Kali Yuga. So I just recall one point which I have read in the book. I think in the I don't remember the name of the book, I guess, but in the Sakar time when Baba was there, these people were having 7 days Mon Bhakti. Now imagine they're having mourn for entire 7 days, not talking, not even seeing each other, but they are able to do each and every activity. And they were working for 12, 15 hours a day. It was not that they're just sitting and doing meditation. So I think what we can do, I mean, each one of can have their own way of doing it, but at least one day or few hours a day, complete silence, complete introvertness, that will bring out so many weaknesses that we have, and then we can work on it, and then we can attain the stage what Baba wants us. So we can just think on it on our own, in our own different way. Just remember, so thought share with you. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. All right. Uh, can we have some music? Let's have a short meditation to wind up
Yeah,
today's session.
sure.
Keep your shoulders relaxed. Your head straight and calm. Sister, if you can reduce the volume a bit, please. Ami Ben. With a gentle smile of gratitude on your face, with your eyes relaxed, and taking deep breaths of gratitude. To be a part of this divine family in itself is a blessing. The daily guidance, ongoing sustenance, and the selfless love that our Supreme Father is giving us. We are indeed blessed to be the chosen one. We have everything because we have the Father with us. No situation can be bigger than us, can be larger than us. No relation can be a bondage for us because we have the Father with us. Let's take this moment to do justice to what Baba is counting on us for, to be equal to Him. He is counting on us to spread the divinity around. He's counting on us to bring forth the golden age. We are those Maharathis who are a promise to him that we are shoulder to shoulder, all of us together, as Tivra Purusharthis, coming from complete soul consciousness and driving each action to remain happy, peaceful, content, free from any kind of worries, blissful, even in any kind of a challenging situation. And I gift that way of being first to my own self and then make myself available to create it for others. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Divine Family. Thank you, Drama. Om Shanti.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Om Shanti.
See you all tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.